Okay, so it'd be Nash and X and Williams and Lee. Okay.
Yeah, and I think right now I think we're doing quite good, and I think underneath that we have the Pit Bulls and Pitbull number 2 and Shane, the Eliminators and the Gangsters. I forgot all about Dreamer. What happened to Dreamer? Oh yeah, I should have injured him earlier, so let me go back. I forgot about Dreamer. Where do we have Dreamer before? I forget.
Well, we didn't have anything. We had.
No, I know, but I'm saying, but what wasn't he? He was okay, because Brian Lee was with me. You know what? We need to injure Dreamer early on to get him out of there. Let me think. All right, we're back. What I decided over the break was that I forgot was that we had Lee and Dreamer in that scaffold match, and right before Hall shows up, or the night Hall shows up, Lee destroys puts Dreamer through the scaffolds and kills him. And that is why when so Hall's going to beat all three of them up, beat up, I hate to get Lee beat up that soon, but Hall has to kick some ass. But, but that's okay because Lee just went through he got beat up in the scaffolding match and went through a bunch. I guess he goes. How does he get off the? No, I guess he got to climb off the scaffold because he wins. But anyway, Dreamer. Not in real life. In real time he lost. But in this one, Dreamer lost and he gets killed and he's out. So he's out of the picture. I know we backtracked, but I had to do something with Dreamer to keep him out of the way because he's a top guy and he was working with Brian Lee, and that would leave us with a man too many. So now we have Nash and X-Pac against Dr. Death and Brian Lee. And then we have me and Scott Hall, and everything else I'm going to keep the same because there's no reason to change any of it. What happens is, let me think. I want to drop the belt, and I want to get it off me as the booker. But do I drop it first, or do I milk it first? No, I think I let Scott Hall chase it for a bit. So, Nash and Dr. Death Nash and X-Pac go over. So we have a happy ending there. But somehow Raven does a fuck job, fucks Scott Hall, and how does it happen? I know what happens, is X-Pac turns. And X-Pac turns on Hall at the end of the match. We do some kind of thing where X-Pac comes out, bumps Stevie and Amini, and Brian Lee's in the back from earlier. Actually, let me back this up. Brian Lee gets put out by Nash, and he gets injured and taken off the game, and he's out. He's taking a couple months sabbatical. So he gets in the match, Lee gets put out and he's gone. And he gets stretchered out, so we don't hear from him anymore. But unlike in most promotions, we're going to have Joey continue to talk about what, for at least for a week or two, and through the rest of the program, oh my God, what happened to him is, I hate when they nobody cares, the guy gets stretchered out, who cares? At least talk about it at the end of the show, oh my God, I wonder if he's okay. But anyway, so Lee gets taken out, Williams does the job, and then, at the end of the match, somehow Stevie and Amini get involved. X-Pac comes down, bumps both of them out the ring. Hall has me in the razor's edge. X-Pac's right there. Throws the nunchucks, hits him in the face. While the ref's obviously looking at the meeting and Stevie, because doesn't matter. I always want the ref distracted because it's more heat. Throws a chucks, hits him in the face, so we'll get those foam ones so they don't really hurt. Although the middle part, I guess, could. But boom, he drops me, I land on my feet, spin him around, kick him, DDT, 1, 2, 3, and I sneak away with the belt. But I'm so battered and beaten at that point that that it was obvious I was going to lose. Now there's much rejoicing in the Raven camp, and so it's Raven, Pac, and Dr. Death with Lee, and Lee's gone as well. So, Raven, Pac, Dr. Death. And Nash is all left by him. Nash and Hall are the two of them. So the next thing we come out with is a rematch with me and Hall. This time it's going to be, well, we're going to have a rematch. Let me think. So what kind of match do I want to have?
Is it set up for the following TV or?
No, I'm setting up for the next arena show. But I mean, but the TVs are just, the TVs just tell the story along the way. So I got to plan what I'm going with this. And where I'm heading long term is to put the belt on Hall and hopefully as a babyface champion, actually make him almost a tweener champion, because I mean people are gonna, people always have that strange reaction to him anyway. You know what I mean? He's gonna be more of a babyface, but he can also fight other babyfaces and be a nice of a heel, and I'll take myself out of the picture, and where I'll head to is it'll end up, for right now, while we have time, this is where I'm stating it, but I may change it. That's one thing I always liked about Paulie, is he'd have a general idea where he wanted to go, or a couple general ideas. If it goes that way, or that way, but if the story tells itself a different way, then you let the story tell itself. And but where I'm heading to is, at this point, I'm being told, I guess, that we have a pay-per-view coming up, and in April. What are we in? September's the next show. Mm-hmm. September, October, November, December, January, February, March, April. So that's a long way off. So I'm not going to really plan for that, but I do know it's Funk's 20th anniversary, and I know I want to drop the belt to Funk on the 20th anniversary. So I'm hoping to have the belt on Hall. And what I'm shooting for down there in April is Funk versus Hall as my long-term plan. And I've turned Hall heel by then. Or I don't know if I turned Hall heel. I don't know. Maybe I can't do that. Paulie never used to want to have babyface and heels. He thought it was passé, but I never believed that, and I actually single-handedly changed the company, because I refused to let anybody cheer me, and I made the fans boo me, and everybody with me, I made them be a heel until all our opponents were baby faces, and single-handedly, which is one of actually my proudest moments of my career. But anyway, we come back with Raven and Hall, and now we're gonna have a grudge match with Nash and X-Pac. And the rest of the card pretty much stays the same, because it doesn't need to change. What happens there is, and along the way we have interviews, to tell the story where we're going. Nash says, how could you do this? X-Pac's like, fuck you. I was always a little guy. You treated me like a little runt. Fuck you, like a little bitch. Well, now you're my bitch motherfuckers. Shit like that.